Good morning, traders. Today is Tuesday, June 29th. My name is Charles, and this is the Pirate Traders live stream. Okay, well, it is Tuesday, but we could go ahead and just call it Monday, Monday number 2. Okay, so what we have yesterday was just a balancing day. Okay, on Friday we had a balancing day, and then on Sunday night we just had a balancing in the overnight that was slightly higher. Yesterday, we had a balancing during the day that was slightly higher, and a balancing overnight that was slightly higher. Okay, so this is the market. Literally just, copy and paste. It just redid the exact same thing 2 days in a row. Once again, like Friday, yesterday, we left a bunch of weak references, including a poor low below. Okay, we're stacking up poor lows now. That is the third one that we have here, and a gap. So 3 poor lows and a gap below us is extremely poor structure to be pushing higher on. So what does that tell us? If they keep pushing it higher, if value keeps moving higher and higher, which it is, right? Value is higher in the overnight than the regular trading hours, higher the next day, higher in that overnight. So, if the market is continuing this momentum higher, but we're building up more and more weak references, what does that tell us? It tells us that this move is reaching exhaustion, right? That it's what Jim Dalton would describe as an aging trend. It's getting old, and it can't last forever. So as always, there is definitely high probability that at some point, it doesn't have to happen today, but at some point this market is going to have a liquidation break and come down here and repair some of these old poor references that it's leaving behind beneath it. Okay. That being said, yesterday we ended the day with a spike higher. So spike rules are in play this morning. Spike rules tell us if the market opens above the spike, it is extremely bullish. Okay. So we are opening above the spike, which it would be described as bullish. Okay. We're also opening with a gap higher, which is also bullish. Okay. So the first thing we're going to be watching are the gap rules. The gap rules tell us that if the market can't fill the gap right away, that is a good long trade for continuation higher. If it's able to fill the gap, so if it trades down to yesterday's high, right around 42.82, okay, if it trades down to that level, finds support there, that is a good long trade for continuation higher. But if it trades down to that gap and it fails to find support and it starts to pull into yesterday's range, that is a short for the opposite end of yesterday's range. Okay? So keep that in mind with the gap. Overnight inventory is about 50-50. It's a little more net long, but it's about 50-50 here. So probably not going to be a crazy counter auction, but if there was, it would be in the direction of filling the gap. Not much else to report there. Let's just see what happens when the market opens. Okay, so far it's a gap and go. Right, market opened here, it immediately pushed higher. Looks like divergence in the two indices once again today. ES pushing higher while the NQ pulls back. Market internals opening slightly bullish, as to be expected with the gap up. Right here at this 42.8450 level, we only have 137 contracts. So odds favor the market trying to pull back and backfill that a little bit. Good morning, RK Leon. Welcome. Good morning, Marco. Philip, good to see you. Naif, good morning. Apico back with us. Good to see you. Chris is here. Let's make some loot. I'm down like Charlie Brown. Miles is with us. Good morning to you. Philip. Stair stepping up. Yep, that's the way. John, welcome. RK Leon, psychologically speaking, it feels like they want to touch 4,300. I can get behind that. They like a nice round number. RK, good morning to you. Malcolm was with us. Jose. Fausto. Mudra, good morning to you. Fausto's shorting again. Shane, good morning to you. And Bull Bear Rider, welcome. Trade in Donkey, good morning to you. Pavel, hey, good morning to you too. What's Twerkhorse? Is that Workforce? Well, thank you for the heads up, Donkey. Good morning, Philip. All right, guys. Well, this is bullish. This is a gap and go. I thought as soon as we started to get some taper up here, we would pull right back down. But it seems like we're building up support here just above the overnight high. So it's bullish. I'm not looking to jump into a long just yet, but this does look good as a good start of the day. Let's take a quick look at the NQ. All right. The NQ looking very bullish. It's overnight trading. Didn't quite get above its high, but trading up in the upper end of its range. Shows acceptance of the P-shaped formation from yesterday. So no gap on the NQ, but it is pushing higher. Looks good. Looks bullish as well. What I'd like to see happen now, because I don't trust the gap and this one level with only 137 contracts, I'd like to see the market try to pull back down and either find support here in this node of volume just above the overnight. We'll call it at the halfback, say 42.8625, right? I'd like to find support in there to go long with the momentum higher, or have it pull back down, backfill this a little bit, and then try to fill the gap, fail to fill the gap again, then it would be another bullish entry long there. Okay. Okay, so that first node of volume is not going to hold, it looks like. So next we'll be seeing, does the market fill the gap, right? Does it come down here, backfill some volume into these levels around the 42.84 level? And then if so, does it just find support and take another push higher, or does it need to come back down and backfill the gap? Remember, even filling the gap and then finding support here is very bullish for continuation higher. It's if you fail here and you start to pull into yesterday's range that you get bearish. Okay? Mudra, yeah, so the question was, since there wasn't the counter auction, right, we felt like inventory was a little bit more net long than net short, just because we opened up here. So shouldn't we have had a bit of a counter auction? And since we didn't get it, is that bullish? And the answer is yes, it is bullish. But again, you know, it would still be bullish even if the market pulled back down to fill the gap. Okay. So we did some backfilling. Okay, brought in a little more volume around here. That's good to see. That's healthy. Okay, yeah, this is all bullish. That was the pullback. That was the chance to try to fill the gap. They didn't do it, so that is extremely bullish. Well, normal, again, every day I have to keep repeating this. I don't talk about my trades. I will just say, though, I said before I would go long if the market pulled back down and found support and then pushed higher again, which is what just happened. But I wouldn't be going long up here. I'd be going long in the pullback down here, right? But this is bullish. All of this is bullish. We got a gap and go. That is very bullish to see. Okay, we got value higher. That is bullish. We have a trend going higher. That is bullish. We got bullish internals across the board. That is bullish. So all I'm doing is giving you guys the market generated information. I'm telling you this market is bullish. You trade it however you want to trade it. Yeah, breadth is bullish. 2-1 green, or 1-1, I guess. Akbar, no, I wouldn't suggest shorting just because it's an all-time high. The trend, you must look at the trend. The trend is up, right? If you don't understand how trends work yet, how momentum works, it's a really great first concept to start wrapping your mind around. that when millions and millions of people all over the world get excited and they think they're going to make money, they just keep piling on. They just keep adding and adding and adding to it. They get greedier and greedier and greedier, and the market will just keep going up, even if it seems irrational. So for that reason, I don't ever go like, oh, it's an all-time high, I should short it, right? Because they could stay irrational and keep pushing it for a long, long time. So that's why I like to take each day on its own and just look at what is the market doing right now today. Right now today, it's bullish, right? Right now today, it's pushing higher once again. Now, maybe it'll change its mind and it'll go rotational and it'll just bounce around up here. Maybe we'll have a massive sell-off and it'll turn into a liquidation break and we'll go all the way back down here to fill this gap. You know, I'm not going to guess ahead of time what it's doing. I'll just look at what it's doing right now and I'll trade that. That's the way I approach markets. I don't guess what it's going to do ahead of time. I look at what it's currently doing and I figure out how I can make money off of that. No, Akbar, I'm not saying that it's not okay to be a contrarian. You know, if you're a good contrarian, you'll make lots and lots of money. I'm just not a contrarian. That's not how I trade. I trade with the flow of the market. I trade with the momentum that everybody else is going. What you're talking about, that's being like you said, a contrarian, which is fighting the momentum. That's a great way to make lots of money if you're really good at it. Because I'm not really good at it, I won't make any money trying to do that. I'll lose money. So for me, I'll do it the easy way and just go with the trend, go with everybody else. Yeah, Philip, that's why I'm saying it's like to try to teach people how I think about the market. I'm well aware of all the weakness below us. I'm well aware that the market could have a massive sell-off to go back and repair this literally at any moment. But that's not going to stop me from going long if the market's giving me signals that it wants to push higher, right? I already got one trade this morning that was profitable, long, despite the fact that there's all this weakness below us, despite the fact that, you know, that the market could sell off at any moment. I just made money going long, going up, right? I go with the trend. I go with what it's showing me. If this starts to fail, if we pull below the half back here, we get back down, we fill the gap, we don't bring in support at the gap, well, then I'll know we have a look above and fail, and I'll short it. And I'll catch the big move from here down to here. But until then, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm certainly not going to enter that trade now until I get the reassurance. Okay, so there's the first of those steps, right? The halfback failed to hold a support. So now we'll see, do they push back down to the opening price? If that fails, do they get back down to fill the gap? If they don't find support there, that's where I enter the short for the sell-off. I don't enter up here. I'm fine with, you know, not making this little bit of money in order to have a much safer short down here. Okay? Okay, tick starting to trend down on the NYSE there. Yes, please smash that like button. If you like spike rules, smash the like. If you like gap rules, smash the like. If you like value higher, smash the like. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. Okay, so if the B period is able to push its way above the A period here, we will begin one time framing higher, which is bullish. Looks like the NQ is on its way to test that 20 moving average to the downside. Let's pop over and take a look at the NQ real quick here. Okay, not quite as bullish as the ES, obviously. Value overlapping to higher as opposed to outright higher. Looks like it's finding support right around its half back here. So I could call this still bullish, but very cautiously. This looks more like it wants to go rotational. Looks like they held right on that 20 moving average or just a little bit above it. I would say this is acting as a drag on the ES. I think that is fair. But let's see if they find support right there on that 20. And that gives them some rocket fuel for another push higher. Coming into these nodes of volume here and here from the overnight. Ticks clearly trending down in the NASDAQ. This is almost exactly like yesterday, isn't it? Didn't we do this yesterday? Small gap higher, bounce around for a while. B period was completely inside of A period. Okay, so Miles. So Charles, how much emphasis do you put on follow through? Gap higher, higher balance, but we aren't getting that rush away from the open. Which tells me buyers are doing a bad job, right? Yeah, I think that's a fair analysis to say. I mean, we should have gotten, if it was really going to be bullish today, it shouldn't be this hard for the B period to start one time framing higher. So I think it's safe to say that the buyers are starting to run out here. But at this moment, the trend is not over, right? Could be with the NQ breaking that 20. But that's why you want to wait for those signals to come in first, right? You don't go short just because you're starting to feel like you're running out of buyers. You wait until you get a signal from the market. Marco on asking about P shape, B shape. Absolutely. I look at that for sure. Okay, so that 20 did not hold on the NQ, which is pulling back. Bringing the ES on down with it. Okay, so as we pass back through the opening price here, my stance becomes neutral once again, right? I'm less certain that the trend up is going to continue. And then when we get down here and we fill the gap and we're sitting at yesterday's high, I'm watching to see what the market does. Does it find support there? Does it start to bring in buyers? If so, I assume the continuation will be higher. Actually, nope. I take that back. We'll be one time framing lower if we push down into this gap. So if we do that, if we push down lower into this gap, find support here at yesterday's high, we're probably looking at rotation. In order to have a good trend higher, we'd have to hold the lows here. Correct, Akbar. So if the market trades down to yesterday's high and it can't find support there, so let's say it pushes down to here, it grinds around a little bit, and then it starts to fall further, that's where I go short, right there. Because that makes today's trade a look above yesterday's range and fail, okay, which increases the odds that we're going to the opposite end of the range. The fact that there's a poor low at the opposite end increases the odds even more. So I'll wait until we get down here and I get some certainty, but then I take that short, okay? NQ certainly looks like it wants to be rotational. Let's see what happens. Yep, Akbar, that's exactly how you do it. You see a trade, you enter, you put your stop and your take profit, and then you let the market do its thing. Mudra, no, I haven't really figured out market profile for crypto yet. I've started looking at the Bitcoin futures, the like regular futures, um, but I haven't quite cracked that code just yet. Thanks for the heads up, Revolution. I'll check it out. All right, guys. Yeah, so this is where it gets a little bit complicated. Yes, this is technically one time framing higher, but it is really only from the B period to C period because the B period high didn't get above the A period high. It's technically just started one time framing. Not that that really matters. It's bullish. The market is one time framing higher. Okay, on the ES. Let's jump back on the Q. Nope, it is not. It is neither one time framing nor not one time, or I guess it's not one time framing yet. So basically what you've got on the NQ here is you've got the B period completely inside the A period, and you currently have the C period completely inside the B period. So this is just a sign of rotation that's happening currently in the market. But whichever direction you break this B period, so if the C period goes below the B period low or above the B period high, the market is likely to continue traveling in that direction, whichever way you break out of this. Okay. Ticks look good on the NASDAQ. Pulled back up above that zero line. So yeah, to me, it feels like it's going to be a day a lot like yesterday, right? Probably a very like tight range, rotational type of day. We may get a few, fake out liquidation breaks, and then probably a spike higher at the end of the day. But as of now, it is trending higher. Okay. With that, I shall bid you farewell and adieu. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. You make lots of money in the markets. If you are a member of the Brigade, give me 5 minutes and we'll switch on over to that private stream. If you're not, there's a link in the description. Just costs $10. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.